Today, we bring you a critical discussion on the crisis unfolding in Pakistan, a nation gripped by unrest as supporters of former Prime Minister Imran Khan flood the streets, demanding justice and freedom. The protests have escalated into a defining moment for Pakistan's democracy, with lives lost and voices rising against oppression. I'm Curtis Hinton, and today on InFocus on quewsnews, we have a special guest joining us to shed the light on this unfolding situation. Syed Zulfikar Abbas Bukhari, also known as Zulfi Bukhari, a senior member of PTI and a key ally to Imran Khan, will provide insight for the fight for justice and democracy. He'll also be talking about the PTI's global efforts to raise awareness. This is an urgent and vital conversation. Zulfi Bukhari, hello and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So first and foremost, just explain a little bit about who you are and your links to the PTI.
I'm a former cabinet minister of Imran Khan's government. I'm currently the advisor to Imran Khan on international relations and international media.
So very close to the man himself.
Yes.
Yeah. What we're seeing unfold in Pakistan at the moment, it's something we've not seen before.
No, I mean, we've not seen this kind of crackdown and brutality on peaceful protesters. It's obvious that the government is clearly shaken, worried. But, to attack your own people like this is just, it's terrible. And it just shows you what direction the country has been going in the last 2 years and which direction it's continuing to go to.
Now, there'd been some protests before this one, but nothing of this magnitude. What was so special about this one? Was it the title of the final call from Imran Khan?
Yes, I mean, the other protests were never the final call, and never did we say that we're going to go there and do a sit-in and stay there. The other protests were more flash protests or one big gathering, and you have like a 2-3 hour event and it's over. But this one that is the final call, so a lot of preparations were put into it. But at the same time, you also have Imran Khan's wife, the former First Lady, leading it, and you've got this Chief Minister of KP, Ali Amin Gandapur, leading it himself as well. So that shows that it's serious, and the leadership is leading from the front.
I mean, one thing that has been confirmed, as you said, you've breached the barriers in Islamabad in the red zone. When does this end? What's the end game here?
Well, look, it's an evolving situation, right? So it's hard to say exactly when it will end. But our motives are clear. We want to do a peaceful sit-in until our demands are heard. And but we also have to be cautious of the fact of the kind of crackdown that is taking place as we speak. Just before getting on to this interview, I was just starting to get messages and videos through of serious firing going on direct on the people. One of my main constituency workers, a very good hard worker for the party, has been shot in the leg, and he's in an operation as we speak in PIMS Hospital. So it just depends what kind of crackdown they're looking at to do tonight, because it's a standoff, and more protesters are joining from around the country within the next 24 hours. So we're just afraid that they might try to shut the lights and go for a massacre, and at the same time try to arrest Bushra Bibi, Imran Khan's wife, and the chief minister. So we've got to make sure we safeguard certain things, but we also need to make sure we hold our positions.
Some of the footage coming out, I mean, X platform has been something which the Pakistanis, we can see on the screen some of the footage that's been shared. VPN today was released on X, am I right in saying that? So more Pakistanis were able to access and share their stories at the moment. At what point does it become an attack from the government for foreign governments to step in and say this is not acceptable? You're saying that they're attacking the people at the moment. At what point does when you attack peaceful protesters like the PTI have at the moment, do other governments like the US and the UK step in?
Well, to be honest, I think that point has been there for quite a while. You know, Imran Khan has been in prison for over 18 months. He's had the UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention write a decision, a 30 odd page decision on how it's illegal and how he should be released and how he should be given compensation for being illegally in prison. His wife was in prison for almost a year, and so us and some of our senior leadership is still in prison. So really and truly, and then at one point we had 13,000 people in prison. In the last 48 hours, another 5,000 have been thrown into prison. Look, the foreign powers, you know, there's something called collective responsibility. You know, foreign powers isn't their job to dismantle regimes or to help regimes come into power. But when you have collective responsibility around the world for foreign powers, is to see that if Pakistan is a democracy, which it is, if it was a monarchy, if it if it was a martial law, perhaps something different, right? But if it's a democracy, then is democracy being even relatively abided by in the country? Does a normal citizen of Pakistan have democratic rights? The answer to that is no. That's when it becomes a collective responsibility for the global community.
I mean, I'm sure many people have contacted, especially on UK quewsnews. I've contacted myself, Dave Lammy, the Foreign Secretary, sorry, and Hamish Falconer, who is the Minister to the Middle East. And we've heard nothing back yet. And that's been kind of the consistent response from top level government. We've seen some politicians in America, they have been vocal about kind of support and someone to step in. Is there hope if Donald Trump comes in that he could work a deal? I mean, we are talking January 20th, that's going to happen, which is quite a substantial amount of time. This can't go on for that long. Is there hope from the PTI, from your party, that Donald Trump could help Imran Khan get released?
Look, at the end of the day, it's the people of Pakistan that will have to decide if Imran Khan gets released or not and how. Naturally, a superpower like the US or the UK and others, their concern and their willingness to help 250 million people, break the shackles of this undeclared martial law would always be helpful. The foreign secretary here in the UK has written a letter back to one of his MPs. We had a letter signed by about 20 to 30 MPs, and he did write a reasonable letter back, and especially outlining that military course is something which UK would take very seriously if any citizen, including Imran Khan, was ever tried in it. So that's there, but why is there not enough question on that? Why is democracy not being followed in Pakistan? We're a democratic country. We always have been, except for a few martial laws in the middle. So unless we admit that we're in a martial law, there's no reason why the international community should not be talking about an individual's right to peaceful protest, democracy, supremacy of law, and the independence of the judiciary.
Your Interior Minister yesterday came out and said something quite concerning, which has been followed up with live fire being shot, saying it can take Rangers just 5 minutes to clear the situation. Is that a big fear for you?
Look, in this clip that's being played, is this, the Interior Minister, Mr. Mohsin Naqvi. I mean, he's just terrible. He was a news reporter, then owned a channel, and now he was caretaker's chief minister and now interior minister. It's obvious he's just there because he's just a yes man. Every single thing he has touched, he's destroyed. From the smallest thing, let's say cricket in terms of leisure, and down to the politics. And his statement yesterday was an obvious indication of which direction they want to take to. Look, do not be mistaken. They want to take this to a direction where they say law and order has been broken. Now we've got to do this, and it's like another false flag where they get the license to kill, and that's where he wants to take it to that direction. And he gave a hint of that yesterday, and since then 3 people have been shot, dead. One of them, and other people. There's 4 or 5 others, no, maybe 6 others in 2 different hospitals that are being treated for under operation for a gun wound. So you might have 10 dead in terms of, God forbid, in terms of bullet wounds. So, I mean, they made their intention clear. That's why I keep saying that tonight's going to be very important that, which direction they're going to go in.
And what do you believe that direction could be? In your mind, where do you think that could happen? What could happen tonight?
Well, unfortunately, I'm fearing for the worst, and I'm thinking that they're going to crack down even harder. And, I think they will probably try to arrest Imran Khan's wife and the chief minister, probably, and in the process, hurting, seriously injuring, or perhaps even killing many peaceful protesters standing out there in the cold today.
I know it's all for the greater cause, but his wife, Bushra Bibi, is it safe for her to be in the country at this moment in time?
Well, she can't leave the country. She's just come out of prison a few weeks ago. She's shown a lot of courage and bravery to be leading this protest herself. It's not easy being in a container for 2, 3, 4, 5 days. And so she's shown a lot of courage, and the crowd has reacted because they obviously see Imran Khan in her, and she's his voice at the time when you really need someone that you can believe upon. And in these times, you always have a lot of conspiracy theories. So it's important that the leadership shows that courage and unity.
Three things the protesters are out there for: Imran Khan's release, the amendment to the constitution which governed the control of the judicial appointments, and the stolen mandate back in February in the elections. Let's just break them up bit by bit. Imran Khan's release. Do you think that this protest could lead to that?
Look, it's been termed as a release Imran Khan, and there's no doubt that that is the most, in my mind, the most important thing. But Imran Khan being Imran Khan, never actually has that as a demand. His demand is actually the release of other political prisoners. And I'm sure if you told him right now that every other political prisoner, from his vice chairman to all the other leaders in prison and workers, are going to be released today, but they're not going to release you if you're willing to call off the protest, he's the kind of man that will straight away say, if everyone else is getting released and I'm not, that's fine, stop the protest. So the demand is actually just not Imran Khan, it's all the workers, was what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You've had like I said, our former vice chairman in prison for over a year. You've got our senior Punjab minister, Dr. Yasmin Rashid, who's an old senior lady, nearly reaching her 80s. You've got our other senior leadership, men that are of elderly age in prison, and lots of workers.
So the second point was the amendment that was made recently. Now, how controversial was this change?
Look, it's controversial because it basically brought the judiciary away from independence of the judiciary, of the law, to bringing it under the executive. So once you come under the executive, you can basically pass anything you want because it's the government running the judiciary. We just wanted the judiciary to maintain its independence. And unfortunately, that's why we want this amendment revoked, because we want the independence of judiciary, because then the country has no legs to stand on once it's actually factually under the executive. There's one thing saying that the judge is close to you, not close to you, likes you, doesn't like you. That's still hearsay and your PR and your lobbying. But there's another thing when it's legally and the way it's constituted is actually run by the executive that is running the country.
The final bit was the stolen mandate from the elections in February. Let's talk through that. So the PTI believed that they were on course to win a majority.
Yes, I mean, not only believe, we have factual evidences in the form of Form 45, which is a tally of all the polling stations. And when that number comes up, the final form is Form 47. They've changed the number on Form 47, and when you tally up Form 45, you realize that they're two different numbers and PTI is one. I mean, this government that's running the show at the moment is hasn't even won 18 seats. in parliament. So not have we won, we've swept. And that's why people are really upset about what's happening, because they obviously feel badly violated. I mean, everyone understands that elections in Pakistan cannot always be completely transparent, but we've never had this sense of rigging in our entire history.
And who's letting this go kind of unchallenged? Who's letting this happen?
Well, I mean, the rigging and all was all done by the will of the establishment, naturally, and obviously, without the establishment's support, this current government would not be able to last even 24 hours. I mean, if today the establishment says we just want what's best for the people, we're not getting involved, Pakistan would tonight be an independent country again, and the people would win.
The current government, Pakistanis, are the economy over there is spiraling out of control. People are worse off substantially, and this is all because of the corruption that's taking place.
Well, yes, I mean, the corruption that had taken place, and the country's out of control because there's unprecedented uncertainty. For the economy to take real change and real effect, you need certainty. No one wants to plow in money into various sectors of the economy if they don't know what's happening next. So, because it's been in this constant struggle and chaos, you just unfortunately can't have economic stability without until you have political stability.
Just before the interview started, there was a statement from Imran Khan, who is still in prison. He commends the PTI and the Pakistanis who have got out around the world, not just in Pakistan as well, because on Sunday we saw huge support in Washington, in Italy, in London. From your perspective, your role now is getting the PTI wording out to the Western world. How are you finding that at the moment? I mean, you saw such a unity in all these different countries on Sunday. How is that kind of prolonging thereafter?
Well, I think this Sunday across the globe, the way the Pakistani community came out in their respective countries was just phenomenal and really heart touching, and I applaud all of them for their unbelievable efforts that they did. It's not easy traveling, country within the country on a Sunday and getting there, and with not very good weather. But so that's been phenomenal, and I think to be very honest, I think in the last 40 hours, I haven't slept much because it's been busy in coordinating. But I think the last 48 hours, I'd love to take the opportunity on your platform to thank international media. They've been absolutely brilliant. They've been spot on nearly all the time, and they've given endless coverage to it. BBC, Al Jazeera was giving live streaming towards what was going on, and I think that's unprecedented. But it shows you the seriousness of the matter. So I would love, I really want to thank the international media, the support, and the fact that they're just giving out facts to the rest of the world is really helpful to us.
In his statement that he released today, Imran Khan kept on the cricket terminology, and he says he's going to fight until the last ball is bowled, and you're going to fight till the end. They have to answer. He said they have to answer the calls. Do you believe that they will?
Yeah, sorry, it froze for a second, but
I do
what was
apologise.
the
I was
last?
just saying that Imran Khan said that they're going to fight until the last ball is bowled. The PTI, your protesters, are going to keep there. They're going to remain peacefully. He's demanded or requested your protesters to remain peaceful, which they have done. There's been no reports of anything else that we found. And that the current establishment have to answer to the calls. Do you think they will?
Well, I mean, as long as the pressure is on and as long as the protesters can resist what's coming next, unfortunately, we just don't know. The intelligence reports are that, there's going to be a really brutal attack any minute now or any hour now, which we're very fearful of. As long as we can withstand that brutality and the attack, I see this government really on a weak wicket.
Imran Khan being probably very, very pleased with the terminology used just then. If he is released, will Imran Khan forgive the enemies? What will he do if he's released? Say, for example, The mandate is given back to the PTI, and PTI allowed to run the country peacefully. Will Imran Khan forgive his enemies?
Right, his feeling. I think we need to get past this that of forgiving or not forgiving. This is, the country can't be run on one person's forgiveness or grudge, as it is being done at the moment. The country has to run via institutions. The country has to run via judiciary, and the country has to run via real policies. Imran Khan is a very big man. He's a very magnanimous man, and I know for a fact that he just wants to get on with it. He just wants the country to run. I mean, if he loses the next election, or if there's a spot election right now and he loses, he will be happy to sit in opposition for 5 years and be in parliament. He just wants the country to go to some form of democracy and consistency.
You joined the party in 2011. Am I right in saying that?
Roughly, actually, 2008, my family joined. Yeah.
So, what drew you to supporting the PTI and Imran Khan so specifically?
My family joined first, and then I met Imran Khan in London properly a few times. I wasn't so interested in politics at the time; it was just more of a friendship. But slowly and gradually, he over the years motivated you to do something for the country, and for him, everything is a means to an end, and the end is to serve your country. And that's something that I think he has installed in all of the young leadership in the party, and in the millions of youth around the country and outside of the country. He's a very motivating figure. He's a figure that holds a lot of power when he speaks, and that's why the country rallies behind him.
And personally, I'm not asking you to give any personal anecdotes or anything like that. What be going through Imran Khan's mind at the moment, knowing what's happening or potentially hearing what's happening to the protesters out there?
I think that's the main thing that would be of concern to him, is his protesters or his workers, the people that love him. I think the thing that's going to worry him the most is, like I said a while ago, is it's what's coming next. But at the same time, he's an optimist, and he knows that if the people stand, as they did recently in Bangladesh and other countries, Pakistan will also be free from this tyrannical rule.
We mentioned earlier about Imran Khan's wife, Bushra Bibi. A video is going to come up shortly about the involvement of her so far. She's a key pivotal figure, and she's putting a lot on the line. She was released under bail conditions, as far as I'm aware, back in October. So she is really putting a lot on the line. She's really in for this cause. She's really here for the people of Pakistan.
Yes, absolutely. She never wanted to be involved in terms of coming out in public. She has spent her entire life being pretty much in four walls, and she's a pious and a lady who's quite recluse from everything. Her coming out for the release of her husband, her coming out for his cause, is a huge motivating factor at the moment for the workers, because everyone in Pakistan knows that she hates the limelight, she hates being in public, but her coming out, like I said, is what's driving the protest.
If we had the opportunity to give the PTI the chance of what does the future hold, what does the next few days hold, ideally, what does that look like for you?
I think, being what's going to be next, apart from, like I said, the fear that I have of what might happen in the next few hours, if we can hold that and stand our ground, I really feel that every citizen in Pakistan right now will be feeling for those protesters, will be feeling for that. What they're asking for is nothing that any normal democratic country citizen should not be asked for. So I think we could be at the cusp of a massive grand awakening.
And that brings a brighter future to the people of Pakistan.
Absolutely. Whatever the outcome is not for us to choose. It's for the people to choose. When you vote, it's your sweat equity into the country that you put into it. And when you feel that you've been robbed of that equity, it's what creates this unrest, whoever it may be or may not be. But I think the future of Pakistan is just pressing the reset button and having reasonably free and fair elections.
Zulfi, I know you are part of the PTI team. So personally for you, how is things for you at the moment? Are you worried that you're not safe?
Well, I'm in the UK at the moment. I feel fairly safe in that sense. I don't think there's issues. Not that I'm the most popular man, I think, with the government and establishment at the moment, because they probably feel that why does he talk so much on international media? And they try to color you with this thing that you're not a Pakistani and you're an agent and so on. And the funny thing is, really and truly, like I've never looked into these things as if someone's a traitor to the country or not. Everyone wants a better Pakistan, and everyone wants to be in a more progressive Pakistan. But you always define your words with your actions and how you want it to go by, and then how you want to go by it. And so I really hope that I'm sure the establishment at the top also wants to see a better Pakistan, a progressive Pakistan, a stable Pakistan. So for that, you have to put your egos aside and just work for what the people want and what works for stability. So we're all in a fight together, and as long as we stick together, we keep fighting, we'll inshallah come through.
And your future in Pakistani politics, is there a focus on that at the moment?
Well, I didn't really want to come into politics in 2018 even, but I did, and I have a habit of trying to do the best once I get into something. So yes, I mean I'm with Pakistan Tehreek Insaf. I'm in Pakistani politics. If I ever leave politics, it will be on a high, definitely not on a low.
So you're in it for the long haul at the moment.
Absolutely, all of us are.
If you could say on a final word to Pakistanis potentially watching this in and outside of Pakistan, what would you say to them at this moment in time?
Well, it's now or never, really. And, right now, the way that people have come out, we've lost lives. This cause is way bigger than all of us. And we need to just stand our ground. And it's not far until, we start smelling victory. It's not far at all. We just need to stand our ground at the moment. But I would like to thank all overseas Pakistanis. I would like to thank especially the protesters, the workers that have been out there for the last 48 hours and so on. And I would really like to thank the media once again, local and international, for their support and coverage that they're giving. It's historic times, and with hopefully an historic end.
So once again, thank you to Zulfi for that conversation. Hopefully, if you weren't aware of what was happening in Pakistan at the moment, you are a bit more educated now. And if you are in Pakistan, hopefully you can see that we are covering this and we are covering every aspect. We are with you along the way. It's key to remember that democracy remains centre of the future. You've been watching InFocus on Q's News with me, Curtis Hinton.